David joins us now on the Fast Line. David, welcome back. It's nice to talk to you tonight.
Glad to be with you.
So what do you think of this Trump rally?
Well, I said sell the stock, sell the bonds, get out of the casino. I reiterate that call. The bonds have already cratered. They're down something like $2 trillion worldwide, and we got miles to go. This 5% eruption, I think, is meaningless. Some robo-machines trying to tag new highs. What I see ahead is a fiscal bloodbath in Washington for the next year, not the stimulus that everyone's imagining, no big tax cut, no big infrastructure program. What I see ahead is a $20 trillion debt ceiling bomb that's going to go off in mid-March. They will spend the year arm wrestling over that and creating huge amounts of uncertainty. I see a frozen Fed on the zero bond that can do nothing. I see a recession coming down the pike in 2017, but there will be no bailout because, as I've said, fiscal policy will be in a bloodbath and the Fed is out of business. So the stock market is going to go down, and it's going to, stay down long and hard, because for the first time in 25 years, there's nothing to bail it out.
Okay, and, guys, I'll open it up. David, let me open it up to the floor because there was a lot there in that answer.
Sure. Hey, David, it's Tim. First of all, we have to give you credit. I think you also predicted, though, that Trump would win, and ultimately you said that it's ripping the Band-Aid off and it's not going to be comfortable. So what part of this is going to work? Is any part of this going to work?
I don't think any part of it's going to be enacted. That's the key thing. This isn't 1981 with Ronald Reagan when we had a $1 trillion national debt. This is $20 trillion. Reagan got his tax cut through by a fluke because he got shot, and for a couple of months there was some sympathy. Otherwise, it never would have happened. This isn't 1965 when Johnson had some huge mandate. Trump doesn't have any. Trump has no program, no mandate, a frail majority that will shatter in the House. The Republican Party is a coalition of gangs, neocons who basically only care about defense and a few more wars, social cons who are cultural warriors, fiscal conservatives in the Freedom Caucus who will never buy massive additions, to the deficit, which frankly will hit $800 billion in Trump's first year before one dime of his program.
Hey, David, it's Scott again. I think, one interesting thing, I guess when you talk to, so-called perma-bears, it's hard, if not impossible, to get them to change their opinion, no matter what happens. A surprise Trump win, the prospects of a tax cut and an infrastructure spend. Yet the perma-bears always remain bearish. What would change your point of view?
Well, I thought Trump was going to win, and that's why there's a disaster down the road. He can't govern. You don't realize how dysfunctional Washington is. This is just talk about...
Yeah, but if Hillary, you were calling for the market to have a serious correction when everybody thought that Hillary was going to win. So
I'm calling for, if I may say, Scott, I'm calling for a serious correction. I'm not smart enough to know when, but I know this market is basically betting on a huge fiscal stimulus. Almost everyone realizes the Fed is done. There's not much more it can do. And my point is this huge fiscal stimulus isn't going to happen. There is going to be a fiscal horror show that we haven't visited for the last 30 or 40 years. People don't realize how rapidly the deficit is deteriorating and how rapidly the economy is dropping into recession. I look at the IRS, not the BLS. Revenues in the last 6 months are down by $40 billion from prior year, 2%. That's always a sign of an economy that's, heading for problems, not an economy that's somehow recovering. So if you have a weak economy and no fiscal stimulus, even close to what they're talking about, if you like the S&P today at 24 times earnings, you'll love it at 40 times earnings, because when we get the next recession, that's where earnings will be.